What do I do when my friends are getting drunk at a party and I want to join in the fun? Can I go on the pill?
All my friends smoke. Why can't I?
Should I tell my new friends at college I have a heart condition?
Can I have my ears pierced? Because at the moment I'm wearing clip-ons.
All of you watching this now will have been living with cardiac problems, just like I have. And you'll be under the care of paediatric staff. But someday, you'll have to start to take responsibility for your heart condition yourself. You'll have to be more confident as you make decisions about GCSEs, A-levels, even university or work. And that is what this DVD is about.
As we get older, we all have questions about how our heart conditions will affect our lives. Here at the Evelina Children's Hospital, we're encouraged to talk about issues we'll have to face in our teens and learn more about how to look after ourselves and our hearts.
Some of my friends say to me, why don't you try some alcohol? But I'm never sure if that's a good idea because I've got a heart condition. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to or how much I'm limited.
When you're out with your friends, they don't necessarily understand why you can't, but then when you try and explain, it's like, well, it's because of my heart, but then that doesn't mean anything to them.
I'm not actually allowed to have any piercings because basically if I got an infection on wherever the piercing was and it could go on my heart, I could die basically.
And the same with tattoos, especially if they're like done badly. So I'm not sure if I'm allowed them or not.
Sometimes the reason why advice is confusing is because our heart conditions are not all the same. What's okay for one person doesn't work for another, and that applies to everyday issues as well as more important ones.
When I'm older and I need to go on the pill, what advice would you give me?
It depends a little bit on what medicine you're on, whether there are certain medicines which interact with things like the pill, or there's other strategies for contraception. So contraception is a really important issue for young women. So really you need to take time to sit down with your cardiologist and then talk to your GP and say, this is the advice from the cardiologist, I want to talk about contraception, these are the things available. The worst thing is to not think about it at all.
Because I've got a heart condition, am I allowed to go on like roller coasters?
It would be worth asking your cardiologist who knows your heart, is my heart the sort that can go on roller coasters? Because the great majority can.
Part of Melinda's session involves role-playing exercises based on our own experiences.
Come on, have a fag. Don't be Miss Perfect.
How does that make me Miss Perfect?
Because all of us smoke, and the boys do, and the girls do, and you're like one in a million that doesn't smoke.
And what if I want to be one in a million? It's fine. I am who I am, you are who you are.
But that is just absolutely a load of rubbish. Come on, be a bit of a daredevil, come on.
No thanks. I really don't want to fall out with you. Okay.
Smell it, it's well gorgeous, isn't it?
No, it's really not.
No, it's actually really nice.
I really don't want to fall out with you, so I'm just going to leave it like this and agree that we're going to be different.
Have a drink.
I've already had one, I'm fine.
No, like, I've had 4 and I'm fine. Have another one. I'll buy you 1 more and you drink it and then you can go home, okay?
How about I go home now?
No, seriously. Everyone else has had 3, 4. That guy over there's had 7. And he's fine, look. We're not drunk. Just have 1 more.
He's on the floor.
The role-playing is fun, but the issues are quite serious.
When I'm 18, should I drink alcohol?
In general, most of our young adults can lead a normal life. That means drink when they go to the pub with their mates, not binge drinking, not a bender every Friday evening, but you know, an occasional drink just as other young adults do is absolutely fine.
All my friends are smoking, is it okay if I'm able to?
The way I look at this, smoking is out. You know, if you've had a heart problem or heart surgery, you know, you've now been given a really good circulation and a really strong heart. The worst thing you can do is jeopardise that or put that at risk, okay? Cigarette smoking, whether you've got a heart problem or not a heart problem, is a major cause of heart disease and circulatory problems. So to me, smoking is mad.
How many people here have got people at school that take drugs?
Come on, you know
you want it.
I don't want it.
Come on.
No.
Take it.
I don't want it. I don't want to end up like you, shaky.
But staff at the Evelina certainly don't think we should just stay at home and never go out.
Should I go clubbing?
Clubbing? Oh, no. No, only kidding. Of course you can go clubbing. The whole idea of the management of young adults with congenital heart disease is to have a normal life. You've got to take sensible precautions with clubbing, you know, plenty of fluids, no recreational drugs, but dancing, having fun, going out with your mates is absolutely essential for a young person, and we'd support that. Absolutely, have fun.
Having fun is one thing you'll be taking responsibility for as you get older. Another is your hospital visits and medication.
When will I be moving over to the adult hospital for my checkups?
Generally, we start looking at moving you into the adult service and transitioning it, which just means moving between the two services, between the age of 16 and 18.
Will I have to come on my own, or can I bring my parents along?
Well, that's really something for you to decide for yourself. One of the things about growing up is that you start taking ownership of your heart condition and your problem. But it's up to you to decide what's right for you, but we'll support you with whatever decision you want.
When I'm at university, is my life just going to be normal?
Yeah, generally it should be no different than what you've already been coping with and living with. Might need a few changes, so it might be things about thinking about where do you get your medication from, so getting a local doctor, knowing that you have to go and get a prescription to go and get your medication from the local chemist. It might mean that you get followed up by a local cardiology team rather than the specialist team that you're used to here. We're not here to stop you from having a good time. University is about having a good time and enjoying yourself.
If I forget my medication, what do I do?
We all sometimes forget the odd dose, okay? And it depends which one it is. What I think is useful is to try and put in place some strategies so you don't forget them. Sometimes you can get those little pill boxes where you can put your medication for different days, different times, and then you can see whether you've forgotten one or not. So they're really useful. For most things at your age, if you're on stable medicine, if it's not something that's just being started, then it's sometimes okay if you miss the occasional one. Talk to your cardiologist, because some of them you've got to make up. Some of them you can miss and not worry about if you only miss it once.
Although the future's bright, we all have days when we feel uncomfortable about our heart condition.
Sometimes people don't understand about your heart condition. There might be some people that you would choose to tell about it, and other times you might be saying no, but not telling people about your heart condition. So I wonder if we could actually just think of a role play that involved where you might be telling someone a little bit more about your heart condition.
What's that on your chest?
A scar.
Where'd you get it from?
From stitches.
Yeah, but how did you get it?
From surgery.
When?
Like 5 years ago.
Why?
Because I have a heart condition and they had to cut me open to try and fix it.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, it's not every day you get cut open, is it, really?
The Echo Teen Club was set up to help teenagers to be confident, especially having uncomfortable conversations like this. It's run by Alex Bicknell, an adult heart patient who's been through this himself.
Alex, if I get new friends, and should I tell them about my heart condition?
Yeah, that's a good question, Jack. You don't always have to tell everyone you meet that you have a heart condition. You know, you only have to tell perhaps your close friends or those who you trust. So, you know, no, you don't have to tell everyone you have a heart condition. What we're all about at Echo and Echo Teen Club, ETC, is really giving you guys the confidence to do anything that you want to do and to lead essentially a normal life. Nothing should hold you guys back.
So what activities do ETC actually do?
Well, we're open to your ideas. You might want to go bowling or cinema, or we could do something else entirely different. Maybe some workshops addressing certain issues. Really, we're open to your ideas. the group is for you, and that's how we want to keep it.
Recently, the club even took a group on an activity holiday to Portugal.
The Portugal trip was fantastic. We took about 10 teenagers along, all with different heart conditions, and we did activities like raft building, banana boating, swimming, kayaking. We also did workshops so you guys could get to know each other better, discuss your worries or concerns, and generally everyone made fantastic friends with each other by the end of it and have kept in contact. We are planning on doing it again this year, so looking for people to come on board.
Me, yeah.
But you don't have to go to Portugal to stay fit and healthy, and there are plenty of sports you can do.
Do you want to tell me about anything or things that you've done that really haven't stopped you doing it just because you've got a heart condition?
I do ski racing like every year in the summer, and I entered the disabled category, and I won it.
I go to the gym 3 times a week and I swim 6 hours a week.
I do spinning actually, and I thought I would never be able to do that because it's really, really hard, but I did enjoy it. Done marathons before, so not full marathons, like 5k.
That's really good. And do you find you get breathless during those 5k runs?
Yeah, I get more breathless than my friends, but it doesn't stop me from carrying on. So.
That's good, that's really good. You know, I suck at football, quite horribly, but when it comes to running, you know, I'm probably better than a lot of my friends are. Just out of virtue of trying harder to keep healthy.
Listening to all of you talk about your achievements and what you've done over the past few years. We've got a budding runner here. We've got Robbie, who's a flying skier. We have a gym goer. I think the message that I want to get across to you guys, and the message that Echo Teen Club wants to put across, is that really you guys shouldn't be held back by your heart conditions. If there's something that you want to do, if there's any sport that you want to play, you really should be able to do it and go for it, but just know your limitations and be careful with it. Is that fair to say? Yeah. Okay, cheers. Cheers. Woo. Yeah.